Task 9. Rock, paper, scissors game. Implement a simple rock, paper, scissors game. Prompt the user to choose either rock, paper, or scissors and generate a random choice for the computer. Determine the winner based on the game rules and display the results. Alright, so with this, I'm just going to explain what I did. I typing it and actually making a video is too long. So first included my libraries, I'll input in output libraries, then there's this CSTD for the random feature here, a random number feature. So here I generated a function to generate a random number between 0 and 2. So the three inputs here, so it's going to be 0, 1, and 2, which is 3. Then return that number there. So I'll call this function whenever I need to generate a random number for the computer's choice. Then here there's a function to determine who wins the round. So we're passing parameters here is the user's inputs and the computer's inputs. And depending on which inputs it is, we'll just return an adequate return method here, or an adequate number on who won the round. So here we'll return 0 if it's a tie, and then here we'll return 1 if the player won, or return -1 if the computer won, depending on which condition is true here. So 0 would be rock, 1 would be paper, 2 would be scissors. So this function will just check which player won the round. Then in our main function where everything starts, we have our random number generator here. So this is coming from this library here to generate our random number. And then here we have the variables that we need. So it's going to be a type of ints, and all our ints is going to be the player score, the computer score, and a variable to store the user's inputs. So when the program loads, we're first going to see let's play rock, paper, scissors, first to 3 wins, and then this line here. Then we have a do while loop, so the loop will carry on until either my score is more than 3 or the player's score or the computer score is more than 3. So the first to 3 is basically the winner. And then here we'll just display the final winner here. So if my score is 3, then we'll just say congratulations, the player won. Else computer wins, better luck next time. So what are we doing in our do loop here? So it's going to print the choice and show that the user can enter 0, which for rock, 1 for paper, or 2 for scissor. Then they will be able to enter the input there, and we'll save it in that input variable here. And this is for error handling. If the input is either more than 3, like 4 or 5, then we'll just show a message saying invalid choice. Please choose between 1, 2, between 0, 1, and 2, and continue the game. So here I'm storing a variable for the computer. So we're calling the random number to generate the number between 0 and 2 for the computer and storing it here in computer choice. Then we have our two switch statements for the player and the computer. So for the player, if the choice is between 0, it's going to be rock. If it's 1, it's going to be paper. If it's 2, then it's going to be scissor. So, but if the choice in the computer's choice, same applies. If it's 0, rock, 1, paper, 2, then scissor. Then here we'll just determine who wins the round and then show the score. So storing our variable, we're going to call the winner check function, then pass in the inputs of the user and inputs of the computer. And we'll store that in our results variable. So if the result variable is 1, then we know the player won. So we implement the score, then display a message that they won the round. If the result is -1, then we know the computer won. Or the -1, we know that the computer won. And increment their score, then show that the computer won. Else it's going to return 0. Then we know that's going to be a tie. And then display the score of the user and the computer each time here. So that's the program here. So to run this program, I'm going to run the executable here. So yeah, I saved. So I'm just going to run this vote here. So here's the program when it starts. We'll see the message here. Let's play rock, paper, scissors. First to three wins. So if I enter the choice 4, and as example, it's going to say invalid choice. Please enter between 0, 1, and 2. So 0 being rock, 1 being paper, 2 being scissors. So if I say 1 paper, me and the computer chose paper, so it's a tie. If I choose, let me say 0 this time. So I chose rock, the computer chose paper, so they won that round. So if I choose 1 again, I chose paper, the computer chose scissors, so the computer won that round again. So now the score is 0-2. So if I choose 0, so I chose rock, the computer chose paper, that means the computer wins this round. So overall the score is 3-0, so the computer won that round. So that is the rock, paper, scissors task of task 9.